In this session, we're gonna cover my favorite module, which is called Job Inquiry. And Job Inquiry basically is one-stop shopping to gather as much information about any particular job in 2 or 3 easy steps. So let's start. Option five, option five, and hit the key will take us into Job Inquiry. Same thing applies. You have to give it a job number. If you don't know a job number, you can always search for that job. Okay? But let me put in a job number here. And then once you put in the job number, hit the enter key. Now you have all these various options. You have a total of 4, 8, about 11 options that you can look at information on the job. So first one is F1 is display all openings. And on the screen, the opening numbers appear on the left-hand side. If there are work orders assigned to them, the work order number will appear. The work order type, whether it's a frame, a door, or hardware. The material, the work order date, the required ship date, and the hardware set. And you can hit the page down button and scroll for your job. So let's look for, let's see, L-B205 is what I've put down, and you'll notice that I've keyed it in. Enter the opening number to display, L-B205. I'll hit the enter key, and it's going to give me all the information that I'm looking for in terms of the frame and door information. On the left, the general information is it's a pair. There's a quantity of 1. It's a 4068 hardware set 03, right hand reverse, left hand reverse, and it's a closet door, a pair of closet doors. The frame information is wood, alder, 5-inch jam width. The wall anchor is D2. The frame code we'll talk about in a minute. The locations, the hinge locations, and the work order number and the work order date. So that shows that the frame information was this particular frame was released on a work order. The door information says it's a Stalin Rail SR. The elevation is FLLV2. The thickness, undercut, the face material, the net width, the net height, and the hinge locations, and again the work order. We call it, shipping ticket or work order. It's the same. And so we see a lot of information regarding this opening. Now, if we want to see more information, down at the bottom, F3 and F5. F5 will take us to the frame engineering, and the frame engineering screen gives us a little bit more information. And you'll notice that in the product codes for accounting purposes, there is a description, and there's also the cost. You can see the cost. So, and we can see what the frame was machined for and the patterns. And again, down at the bottom, there are more F keys to see more information. So let's look at some more information on that frame for this opening. And we see the hinge locations, and I've hit the page down key that I can see more engineering information. So I'm going to get out of it. Let's go back and let's look at the door information, which is F3. And I can see the door information here, and you can see the sizes of these doors. So if you ever have to replace this door, this information is already there. You don't have to reinvent it, or someone calls you from a job site. You can look at it very quickly, and you can check the locations. Here are the locations. F3 took you to my patterns that show me the locations, and I can see what the door should have been machined for. So and I go F1 out of that and F1 again. And let's look at the hardware for that opening. And the hardware set is R-03. And I keyed it in at the lower right hand corner here, hit the enter key, and I can see the actual hardware set for that particular opening. And I'll go back. The next thing I want to look at is the display work orders for the job, and I can see all the different work orders and their status. Status R means release, T means transferred, and C means that the hardware was completed. There were no back orders on it. So F1 to go back, and I want to display hardware is F3, and F3 shows me all the hardware items. And you'll see that there's a work order against these items. It gives me the total quantity of these items. And if I want to look at more detail on this item, let's say item number 202, I key in 202 down here in the lower right hand corner, and I can see more detail about it, and I can see what my cost was for it. And the next thing we want to do is display door related items. So I want to see the pricing of doors. So if I want to see how much I paid for a particular door, and in the center here is the opening numbers, and K-B201 is an Alder door, and our cost is $640 for that door. And again, I can scroll down, and by opening I can see how much we paid for specific doors. So nice feature to find out the costing. Now the next thing we want to do, I'll just take the door number out of there. Look at the frame related items, which basically tells me the same thing. It shows me the cost for all those frames, and I can page down again to look at it in more detail. And the next thing we want to look at is frame openings not released yet is F8. And if you have a big job or any size job and you want to see very quickly, if you get a phone call, somebody who wants to know if the frame has shipped or it's been released, this option is a great tool to see by opening number what that any frames who have not been released as yet or don't have a work order assigned to them. The next one, the same thing with doors, F9. F9s will show me any doors that have not been released via a work order. So you can see very quickly if there's something that got missed and it was not released. Okay, F10 is same thing, is to view any hardware items that for whatever reason did not get released on a work order. So we can see on this job everything's released, there's nothing back ordered there. And order F11 is order activity, which we'll cover in some other time, and F12 is job costing or job counting. And you can go directly to job accounting from here, and if you've seen my previous lesson 18, you can see the values of the job. You can see F6 payments against the job. You can see F9 the gross profit of the job based on actual cost and sell values, not also to include change order values. And you notice that this job sold for $701,000 with a scheduled cost of $490,000 with a projected profit of $210,000. So that was a nice job. You could also see F5 will take you to the costs, and you'll see actual costs on the job. So great tool for job inquiry. It's a place where you can go, especially if you're running many jobs and you have phone calls from your customers who want some information. This is the best place to go to get all the information that you need without searching for a file, without having to tell your customer you got to call them back because you got to research it, and you can have it automatically at your fingertips. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to call me. My name is Frank Pena. My number is 760-215-9347. I'm located in California. You can email me at frankpena.com. Thank you.